this time of year, the caddis hatch, and like what you should be
yeah.
using if you're nymphing. Dude, what he described, like Logan doesn't understand any of this, so he's just laughing. But what he described as far as like the leader setup, like the leader length, leader size, tippet size, flies to use, like depth, like everything that he described in the video was exactly what I had used the other day. And I was like, oh, that's why it's such a good day, because I actually did something right for once.
Dude, that's a good feeling.
Yeah,
that's a good really feeling, because once you figure it out after getting your ass kicked for seasons.
Yeah,
that's how it was when I started fly fishing. I went my first. I think it took me like 3 months to catch a fish, legit, like one fish, and I caught the tiniest little fish, and I was like fucking Tarzan out there, like, yes, like I worked so hard for you. You have no idea. Like I was fired up, dude.
Like I'd spend like hours out there and catch maybe 1 or 2 fish, and like if I did that, I was stoked. And now it's kind of getting to the point where I'm like, okay, I should be figuring something out by now.
Eating them up.
But
yeah, it's fun when you get it figured out. Just like anything, though.
Yeah, I just thought that was wild that I was like, just kind of intuitively ended up using exactly what they recommended, and like had no idea that that's what it was.
That's awesome.
I love it.
Well, this is cool.
You're so like Rain cool. Man.
Yeah. Except less mentally stable.
I hit 225 for bench today for 2 reps and 2 sets, which is crazy.
Awesome.
I've never in my life, I remember when I first started working for Doug and was still 150 pounds, I would do like floor presses with a 20-pound dumbbell, and it was like challenging, and it's just crazy to me. I kind of been chasing it a little bit, but anyway, it's the same thing, similar, with the fishing thing. Like, man, you work so hard to get the progress, and there are certain things that are tangible and measurable. It's not all about the weight and going heavy over form, but I've been, working. That's one of the things in the back of my mind that I'd love to be able to do so it's kind of cool to see progress. And
dude.
It was a good day.
That's awesome, man. I get super addicted to things like that, where you start seeing the improvements, the little gains, and you get a little better each time. And also you can mess it up because you are thinking about it too much at that point sometimes. So it's like a
for sure.
I like the mental toughness aspect of keeping it simple. And like that's what archery does, just shooting a bow does for me.
Mm-hmm.
Is
absolutely.
And I talked about I did the Starch podcast last night with Clay and Garrison. Yeah. And it was a blast. We had a really good time, but we were just talking about it. And I said, that's why one of the reasons I like shooting bows, because it's similar to rodeo in the sense that it's just you are the only one that's accountable for what's going on, right? It's not your rigging. Usually it's probably you not doing the basics. Same thing when I shoot that bow is like, okay, what did I do different that way on that shot? It's like, oh, you didn't do any of the basics that you had just done on the previous one. You're just you dropped your bow to look to see where it was going, and why did it go to the right? Well, you just hunked it all to the right to look to see where it was going. So, it's addicting, man. And bench and working out's the same way. And dude, 225 bench is solid.
Yeah, like 2 wheels is like the I don't want to say the standard, because it's not like you have to be there, but like once you get there, it's like a milestone. You're like,
you're pretty damn strong at that point.
Push 2 wheels,
it's one of those
like,
things. I mean, that's what they use in the NFL combine. And those guys, some of those guys, they're hit 225 for 20,
bang out
30.
Like 35
I watched a video of a guy that did I want to say 49 repetitions of 225 bench press at the NFL combine.
What is the
absolutely
that
insane.
Is ridiculous.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous. I saw that too, actually. And there was 3 benches set up. And so there's guys doing the same weight.
Yeah.
And 3 guys went through the rotation on the other 2 benches before he was done.
He's just there for days, just bench pressing 225. I'm over here squeaking out my second rep, like,
anyway,
awesome.
Outsoiled myself on that one.
Yeah, need to be careful. Last week I hit 220, and I was like, "Oh, I should do one more set. I bet I can hit 225." But I was like, "No, it doesn't call for that. This is the last set that I've programmed in. Yes. Could I hit it? Probably, but I'm just gonna wait. I'm gonna wait, save it for next week. I'll work slowly
Save
up, and so I'm really proud of myself because
That's that mental toughness side, man.
Yeah, I used to just go, oh well, yeah, let's just do it, and the next thing you know, like, man, my shoulder hurts for a week, or I've done something, So anyway, you gotta be patient.
Apparently, Logan's a lot more disciplined with that than I was when describing. I think it was the last episode or the one before.
Well, with some things,
jump weight, really
30
fast.
pounds. Okay, I got to take some off.
I can do it.
yeah.
I know I can.
Well,
What's wrong with me?
That's
Why can't
literally
I
how
do
my
this?
mind works. Like if one goes up easy, it's like,
Oh yeah.
like if my plan was to add, 5 more pounds, it's like, no, I'm going 20 more pounds. Like I can do it. And then it doesn't work. But,
Then it doesn't.
I know the feeling. Been there.
And it doesn't. That's awesome. Good for you, Logan.
dude.
Getting stronger.
Thanks, dude.
I texted you guys yesterday about my daughter
not
assaulting my
like
son.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's hilarious.
So
That's a goose egg, son.
Yeah. She got what was coming to her later in the evening. But to kind of just for those that are listening, yesterday my wife and kids come out into the garage where I'm working, and my son's got tears in his eyes, and my wife says, like, oh, is this something we need to take him to the hospital for? I'm like, what are you talking about? And I see his head. He's got this big hematoma on his head, and it's like starting to turn purple. And I'm like, oh my gosh, buddy, like, are you okay? Like, what happened? And I asked Heather, I was like, what happened? Did he fall? Like, was he running? He sprints everywhere he goes. He's like a video game character. He's got one speed. And so I was like, I figured he just fell and like smashed his head on like a table or something. And she goes, no, your daughter did that. And like my face immediately changed from like feeling bad that he was injured to like pride that my daughter was able to inflict that kind of pain on somebody. And then and Heather saw it and she's like, don't you dare say that. I was like, I'm trying to hold it. I'm like, I'm kind of proud of her. Like, yeah. I feel bad for Cannon, but I was like, dang, she's tiny and she was able to do that to him. And I mean, she didn't like mean to hurt him, but she did. And
did she throw a brick at him? What did she do?
Yeah, what did she hit him with?
It was like a wooden toy. And I mean, apparently she just launched it at him. Yeah, and it hit him hard enough.
You don't say it.
Yeah. And like I was surprised. Like I was like totally in shock. I was like, she's got an arm if she can do that. Like that's
nonetheless the accuracy.
Yeah.
Pitch T-ball right now. Like, so you need to get her freaking pitching or something. Holy smokes.
Absolutely. Well, and then so like she ends up injuring herself, not injuring, but hurting herself later on that evening. And so like karma kind of got her, but like also a little bit of a proud moment because she kind of toughed through it. I bought her a little mini stability ball. I bought both of the kids a little stability ball so that they can work out too. And so hers came in yesterday. It's a little pink stability ball. It's her favorite color. So she's bouncing around the house like, oh, my ball. And she jumps off of one of the beds and belly flops onto the ball. And, we know how that goes. And so she face plants and she stands up and there's just blood pouring out of her mouth.
No.
And Heather's like at her wit's end at this point in the day. And so she's like screaming. She's like, get that ball out of here. And she kicks it out of the room and she picks up Charlie. And then Charlie's crying, but she's not like worried about her face being smashed. She goes,
the ball being
I want my ball. Yeah. So I was like, okay, she's lethal and she's really tough. Like,
that's
girl.
Funny.
You go, girl.
That's awesome. That's
just priceless.
Yeah, that's awesome. Kids getting wrecked out.
Poor Heather.
It was a day.
Just had enough at that point. Like one kid's got a baseball-sized knot on his head, almost went to the hospital for it. 8 hours later, one kid's trying to knock her teeth out and doesn't give a shit about it. Just wants her ball.
Yeah. I mean, that was a little alarming. Like that was the blood that, I mean, don't call CPS on me. They're all fine. But like, I mean, there was a significant amount of blood, like in her teeth and stuff. And so like that one was a little scary, but she ended up just kind of biting her lip a little bit.
Yeah.
Mouth and face always bleed really bad, and head. Like when I was, I think I was 3, and this is like one of my, I don't know how or why I remember this. I physically remember doing this, but I loved Superman when I was a kid, and I legit thought I could fly. And so I went and sent her off the top step of a flight of stairs
Oh no.
when we lived in California when I was 3, and I flew all the way to the bottom. And I smacked my head on a table there and got a goose egg. Legit looked identical to that, except for my parents said that it would just throb.
Oh,
My
jeez.
head just throbbing the whole time. So, dude, none of our parents got CPS call on them. You're fine.
Yeah,
We'll be fine.
it's a different day now though. Everybody, yesterday it's like it's 60-mile-an-hour winds. It feels like it's been this way for 2 days. So
That's
kids
the
are wanting to
worst.
practice. It's a pretty nice day, but it's just super windy. So I'm like, all right, well, let's just go right here in front of the house. The house is kind of a wind block, so we're in the front yard. We got the rope and dummy out. Then we get the new goat out, the little flanking goat. But we're like right in the front yard. We're like, hey, don't flank the goat right now. There's a car coming. Like somebody's gonna report
What
us
are those
for
people doing to
abusing
that
our
goat?
animals. Yeah, but it was pretty fun. We did get a little bit of practice in. Callan is going to be my favorite one to watch, I think, this summer. Like of all the events
dude.
that Cannon does, and the Callan, man, he gets into it. He goes, I'm not exaggerating, he would start from 50 or 60 feet away from the goat. He like just walks back and he's like, my turn. And then he just puts his arms in the air and he's just battle crying all the way down. It takes him like 20 seconds to get to the goat. Just and he's like, I'm gonna get it. And he grabs the ribbon off the tail and then he's just like so fired up. I wish the one that I filmed and I put in that reel was like his 5th or 6th time. I wish that I would have filmed the first one, because the first one, he was like, the look on his face when he grabbed the ribbon, he was just like mind blown. Anyway,
He's king of the world.
Yeah, he's so much fun to watch. He is so funny, man. He's so funny. But
dude,
anyway,
that's hilarious. You got to video the first couple next time because I got to see it.
Yeah. It's pretty awesome.
Dude, you guys are busy parents.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what we're going to get into today is some weight loss tips for busy moms, parents out there. We get it. Life is nuts. You just heard it. We just heard about it firsthand. You know, things happen. Life gets busy. It's totally understandable that, being on a weight loss journey can be tough in general, but doing it with kids and being a busy parent can make it extra tough. So we all sat down and again, I'm not a parent, but these guys put together a great list of things that they've used and things I've used with clients that have helped people on this journey, especially managing it with kids. So coolest thing about right now is spring is here, and I am fired up that winter is on the way out. And as we know it, that means, activities are going to increase. Life is going to get a little bit busier pretty much overnight with this extra light in the day. I know I'm staying up later, just naturally I'm, wanting to get more things done. So we're just busier. Staying on track with your weight loss during these times can seem pretty tough. And we know that. So we, again, wanted to go over these few ways that as life gets busier, you are able to stay on top of your journey and able to work out and stay on top of your nutrition as well.
Absolutely.
Paul, what do you think, like the first thing we were chatting about when we were talking about this, what was the first thing you came up with?
Yeah, I mean, like, first off, I want to say, like, this is one of the harder times to, like you had kind of said, stay on track because, the days are longer. There's more light, or I mean, the days are longer. There's more light. That's the same thing, but what I'm saying here. You know what I'm getting at. It's warmer. That's what I wasn't trying to get at. It's warm outside, so you can kind of kick the kids out for a little bit, maybe take them for a walk. So like in the same sense of it, like, is it being a more difficult time? And this is really generally a time where people want to take a break from their fitness journey. It's also, there's things that work in your favor too. Like, so don't like, make sure you're taking advantage of those things. And so, like with kind of, spring kicking off, summer's going to heat up. That means more activities for the kids. So if you've got kids that are in, like, we basically became soccer parents overnight. It seemed like a month ago. We went from having nothing to do to now every night of the week, there's some type of extracurricular activity that we're hauling the kids to. And so that was a big change. Like, that cuts a lot of time out of a lot of free time out of our day. And so that causes us to have to be a lot more flexible. Like, we can't necessarily, we can plan, but we also have to be flexible with those plans. So, like, knowing what we can accomplish with our time, and then knowing that we can also make adjustments and be okay with that. So, maybe that's shortening workouts. We're not going to maybe get we're not going to have time to go to the gym, get our full workout in, come home, and, still have time to make dinner and everything else. We're going to have to fit it in where it can get in. And so, again, but this is like a time where we can, instead of, if you have a cardio session that you're going to do at the gym, or you regularly do at the gym, well, now maybe it's just an extended walk with the kids. So there's ways to get it done. You just have to be a little creative.
Yeah, one of the things that I've seen Lacey has started working out the last. She's been working out for, I don't know, 3 months or so now, pretty consistently. But one thing that she does is she breaks her workout up, and she divides it a lot of times, because there's a fussy baby that she's got to nurse or whatever, and so she might be able to get through the first handful of exercises in a superset. She might even be able to get through all of her sets, 2 or 3 sets. But then the baby's crying, so she'll sit down and she'll nurse the baby, or she'll do some dishes, or do something productive for 10 or 15 minutes, and then she'll go back and she'll do the next superset, and she's able to break it up into 10, 15, 20-minute groups 3 times throughout the day, and she's still getting it in, but she's able to space it out, and that's helped her tremendously. I know, being able to stay on track while all the kids are going crazy.
That's a really good point. Heather's only, 3 weeks postpartum right now, so she's still got a few more weeks until she can start working out again. But she's already thinking about it every day. She kind of brings it up, like, okay, what am I going to do? Am I going to wake up earlier, and try to get something done before they wake up? Like, how am I going to navigate this? Am I going to take time to go to the gym so I can have a break from them? And I think that's a really great point. What you said is breaking it up. So, maybe she can wake up earlier and, knock out 20 minutes, and then maybe in the afternoon do another 20 minutes of strength training or something like that. So I love that.
No, that's awesome. And that's one of my go-tos for clients as well, when they don't have time, don't have the time to get it done. And I think that, aiming for an hour and a half of physical activity a week is a great starting place for someone that's on a weight loss journey. So that's 3 days of 30 minutes at the minimum. And I think that everybody can probably find a time to do that, especially based off of those couple tips you guys just shared of, being flexible, maybe looking at the schedule, planning ahead. Maybe that Pilates class that you've been going to in the afternoons isn't going to work now. So we're going to need to find a new class in the morning, or we're going to need to go trade it out for 30 minutes of just some quick resistance training in the morning, whatever it is, just making it work with what you guys got going on for the summer and life getting busier. With that, I think nutrition is something we need to talk about as well. When we start talking about weight loss, we know that nutrition and fitness go hand in hand here. Being prepped for these times, and this is for any time, but especially now, especially being busy and on the go, having your meals, your snacks, your water. Sounds dumb to say water prep, but at least portioned out and accounted for on what you need to do on the daily basis is going to make your life so much easier.
Yeah.
What do you guys,
absolutely.
some tips on some meal prep stuff?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things that we do is the kids. 2 things that I've seen Lacey do. I really have to give her kudos. She's came up with these things. I a lot of times, working, my schedule hasn't changed dramatically because of the kids. I still like, hey, I need to go to the gym at this time. I need to do, but Lacey's found really creative ways. And so 2 of the things that she does, one of them is that she makes like this snack board. If you've got kids that are older than 2 years old, you've heard the like, mom, snack, 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 snack. Like mealtime comes around, man, we're not going to eat that, but 5 minutes later, snack. So what she does is she's got this big cutting board, and she'll put some fruit on there. She might put a couple of like granola bar chunks. She'll put a handful of different snacks out, and then she just sets it out. And so when the kids want a snack, there's stuff prepped there. Not only does it save her from hearing, "Mom, I want a snack," every 6 minutes and having to stop what she's doing, whether it's a workout or computer work, and go to the pantry and try to find them a snack, but it also provides some nutritious options for them as well. For her, she knows kind of what she builds our grocery list every month, and knows exactly what's going to help her reach her goals. And so she's able to fill the cabinet with those things and less with the things that might be more distracting or, take away from her diet. So that would be one of the things that she's incorporated that I know makes a big difference. And the second thing is, I made fun of her at first, but she has this like 100-ounce or something water bottle. It's obnoxious, and it's huge, and it has a big straw in it, and it tells you like 7 a.m., 9 a.m., like noon, all that. And so she packs that around with her, and that's helped her stay on top of her water intake, because left to our own devices, me and her both, we would just drink coffee nonstop until noon, and then maybe drink some water in the afternoon. But and so that helps her make sure that she's getting her water intake up, having some sort of, and I do the same, just on a different scale. We have the Icehole Cooler bottles that they send us, and so I know how much water fits in there, and I need to drink 3 of those a day. So I'm able to track my water intake. How many of these have I had a day? And that allows me to stay hydrated when I'm super, super busy.
I love Lacey's snack board idea, because, observing my own kids, I've kind of come to the conclusion that kids are grazers naturally. You'll set a plate out for dinner and they won't eat anything, and they'll be like, "Can I be excused?" I'm like, "Are you hungry?" And they're like, "No, I'm not hungry." I'm like, "Okay, you can be excused, but that plate's going to stay. It's going to stay there, and you can come back to it if you want to." And sure enough, they'll come back and they'll eat all of it. At some point throughout the evening, they're going to eat it all. They're just not going to eat it, one in that 30 minutes that we're sitting there. And then with the water thing too, like that's a constant battle. Especially if you are a stay-at-home mom, I can imagine that this is only exaggerated. I feel like everybody struggles with water intake, but especially for them, because Heather will come to me, she's like, "Oh, I'm burnt out, I'm fuzzy today, or I have a headache or whatever." I'm like, "Oh, how much water have you drank?" And she'd be like, "Well, I had a cup of coffee." None. And it's like, well, let's start there. Let's drink some water. But something that's really helped us in this time of having a newborn is one, we do grocery pickup. We've done grocery delivery before too, but generally we do grocery pickup because that gives her an opportunity to get the kids out of the house. She'll try to schedule it around nap time, take them for a drive to the grocery store. They fall asleep. She doesn't have to go in. They bring the groceries out. Bada bing, bada boom. We kill 2 birds with 1 stone. And then the other thing that we do is we've been using Factor meals, and there's other meal prep companies out there. But Factor is the one that we've been using for a little while. And that way we have lunches already made up that are, macro friendly. They're mostly whole foods. Like it takes a whole, basically a whole headache, a whole portion of our planning and prepping process, out of the equation, because we know that there's already lunch made for her and I. Like, we don't have to worry about that. We heat them up and they're ready to go. And then I know, like,
that's huge.
There's other, meat delivery companies too. Like, Doug uses Colorado craft beef religiously, and you can speak to that experience. But there's a lot of options for getting things, making things easier on yourself for the prep part.
Absolutely. And I use Factor meals, has been awesome. They taste incredible. Colorado craft beef has been great. Literally on my doorstep every month, a full month's worth of beef, and it's cheaper than it is at the store, and it is better quality. So if you guys don't use anything like that and you need it, Colorado craft beef is great person to check out, great company to check out. We get a discount code with them, Champion Living, all one word, saves you some money with them as well. Something else I wanted to get into here is like, if we're on a weight loss journey, we've really got to focus on protein and getting protein at every meal. So the best thing we can do when wanting to lose weight is gain and maintain muscle. That is going to require adequate levels of protein consumption each day. So when I start thinking about these things, making sure that I have snacks that are packed with protein, especially for busy days, are going to be a must. Jerky, meat sticks, things like that are my favorites. I am going with First Form is awesome. Their meat sticks are great, 20 grams of protein. They also have like level 1 protein bars that are a full meal replacement that I like to have. Thinking about those things ahead of time is great, and you've got to do it. Otherwise, you're going to get out in the middle of your day and look down when you're hungry and be like, "Damn, I didn't bring anything." But again, you can always go in a gas station and be conscious of what you're purchasing there. And there's all kinds of cold food sections where there's sandwiches, eggs, all kinds of stuff, meat sticks. There's things that you can get that will help you
Fruit
out
cups,
along
yeah.
the way. So yeah, just make sure you're prioritizing your protein. No matter what you're doing, wanting to lose weight or gain muscle, it's important to aid both of those.
Yeah, having the First Form snacks on hand, especially for Heather and I, but our kids actually love them too. They love the meat sticks and they love the bars. Like, so like that makes they think they're getting a candy bar, but it's a somewhat better option for, and they're getting their protein intake in. So having those on hand it makes it so much easier, because then you're not scrambling to try and think of something. You don't have to make that emergency run to the gas station or the grocery store to, try and find snacks, because you've already got them.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. It's important to plan your meals, your snacks, your water. Y'all, if you do this and put the time in, I promise that you will see the benefits, and it'll be a lot easier. And also, when you start thinking about doing all of those things in front of your kids, you're only improving their habits and their routine and what they're seeing and what they're learning, and how they will learn how to be healthier little humans. It's really cool because they really are sponges. They soak it all up. Everything mom and dad wants to do, they want to do that too. So they see mom and dad working out, tracking their food, doing these things, having healthy snacks on deck. It's only going to transfer to the rest of their life as well, it's a really cool thing to me. We talk about this next thing a lot, and I think we talk about it a lot because it's really important, and it's super, super freaking easy to plug into your day. And that is getting in as much non-exercise activity as possible. And we've talked about ways to do that before. I'll name, a couple here. Well, first of all, why is that important? Why is getting non-exercise activity important, would you say, Paul?
Well, other than your basal metabolic rate, your non-exercise activity is probably the biggest contributor to your calorie expenditure throughout the day.
Yep.
Your BMR is going to be the largest chunk, and then you just naturally moving throughout the day is going to be the second largest chunk. Your exercise is actually going to be one of the smallest portions, along with your thermic effect of food. So burning calories as you eat and burning calories during exercise make up the least amount of calories you're going to burn throughout the day. So getting in as much non-exercise activity it can be game changing for your weight loss journey.
Yeah, that is right on the money. And ways we can do that is taking the stairs instead of an elevator. If you got some stairs to climb, or you go to there's a Shields outdoor store here, and it's a couple of flights of stairs to get up, but we always take the stairs because the escalator gets jam packed, and we always beat everyone on the escalator up. And it's, we still get more steps in, but we could also park further away at, the grocery store or Shields or whatever, get those steps in. It's so funny. We talk about consistency and doing something just a little bit at a time. Those steps, those little bit more of doing steps per day, per thing, per stop, they're going to add up. And all of a sudden you're going to look down at your watch or whatever. And you're like, holy smokes, I did over 10,000 steps today. I didn't even try. And that would be a great goal to be at, is about that 10,000 steps. Some other things, I get clients that are at work a lot all day, sitting down constantly and getting tight. Well, every hour, try and get up and go for a 5-minute walk, or do some air squats, do some push-ups. You even, when you get up in the morning, you're waiting on your coffee to brew, or you're waiting your shower to warm up, bust out some air squats and some push-ups, or whatever, go pace the house for a minute, go walk outside for 5 minutes, like whatever it is, just get a little bit in, and you're going to start seeing huge benefits from that. If your kids are participating in sports, you're at practice, like Paul just said, I instantly became a soccer dad overnight. Take a walk around the field while they're practicing, while they're doing stuff. You don't have to sit there and be stagnant. Get out there while they're moving, and you get some movement in too. Hell, you can even turn on your favorite Champion Living podcast and jam that while you're walking around. Get some information and get some help, right? Yeah, in the end, these are just some ideas, but basically you just need to find moments here and there to take the time to move and take advantage of the opportunities to accomplish your goals. Plus, it really doesn't take that much additional effort to add these things to your routine. It's honestly going to make your routine that much easier, and you'll be able to achieve that substantial weight loss. And over time, it will take some time, but you will be able to achieve those things inch by inch, and you will see that happening quicker and quicker by doing these things and being more consistent in your journey. You guys got anything to wrap that up?
The last thing I would say is when we're working with clients and we're trying to help them see wins, one of the biggest wins and the beginning of the snowball effect of them seeing results is them planning ahead. When it comes to your nutrition, thinking about the next meal before it's there. When it comes to your workout, maybe looking over your workout the night before you're going to go, you're planning it into your day. And so just thinking about those things before they actually get there, because we know with kids, if you wait until, well, it's supposed to be time to work out, but I've got all these other things that need to be done, it's just not going to work. You have to start thinking ahead and planning ahead when it comes to your body and your well-being, because at the end of the day, if you take care of your mind, you take care of your body by planning ahead and fueling with nutritious food and exercising, you're only going to be a better parent in the long run because of it.
Absolutely, man. Good stuff. Y'all, we've got to thank our sponsors, Beastmaster Rodeo. They are the top equipment company in professional rodeo and rodeo in general, from, the elite athletes to just beginning level athletes. Whatever you need, you can get it from them. And any side of the arena, they've got gear for it all. Beastmasterrodeo.com. You can use our discount code CHAMPIONLIVING, all one word. I believe it is all capitalized. Save you 10% on all their products. Guys, until next time, we'll catch you later. Logan's Internet.